Letting go of someone who doesn't value you is one of the most profound lessons you can learn in life. It's not just about walking away from someone. It's about confronting an internal process that tests your self-love, your self-esteem, and your ability to connect with yourself on a deeper level. Carl Jung taught us that the relationships we maintain are not mere coincidences. Rather, they are reflections of our inner world. The people we choose, the dynamics we repeat, and the emotions they trigger within us are all part of an unconscious dance between our conscious self and the hidden aspects of our psyche. When we remain in a relationship where we are not valued, it is not just the other person who is hurting us. On some level, we are the ones perpetuating that cycle. Jung would call this a manifestation of the shadow, the part of us that we prefer to ignore, but that remains present in every aspect of our lives. The shadow contains all our fears, wounds, and limiting beliefs that we have suppressed since childhood. And often, the lack of recognition in a relationship is merely a projection of the lack of recognition we give ourselves. Have you ever asked yourself why you remain attached to someone who doesn't reciprocate your feelings? Why is it so difficult to let go? Why does a part of you still cling to the hope that everything will change? For Jung, these situations are not random. They are revealing. You are not fighting for the love of another person. You are fighting against the story you have told yourself about what you deserve and how love should work. And until you confront that story, you will continue to attract the same experiences over and over again. The key to freeing yourself does not lie in the other person. It lies within you. It is not about making the other person change or waiting for recognition that will never come. It is about looking inward and discovering which part of your psyche is sustaining that relationship. Perhaps it is your inner child, still longing to be seen, heard, and loved. Perhaps it is a pattern you learned in your home, where love was always conditional or had to be earned. Or maybe it is a deeper belief about the fear of loneliness, the voice inside you that whispers that without this person, something in you will feel empty. But here's the truth. The only way to find true love is to start with yourself. Jung said that individuation, the process of becoming our most complete and authentic selves, is only possible when we integrate our shadows and face what we have been avoiding. And often, letting go of someone who doesn't value you is the first step in doing so. When you decide to let go, you are not losing something valuable. You're reclaiming something that was always yours, your personal power. Clinging to someone who doesn't appreciate you is, at its core, a way of giving away your energy, of allowing your well-being to depend on external factors. But the moment you say enough, the moment you choose to walk away from what does not nourish you, something shifts inside you. It is as if the universe responds to your decision with new opportunities, new relationships, and a renewed vision of yourself. The process of letting go is not easy. Jung reminds us that the unconscious clings to what is familiar, even when it hurts us. We get used to patterns of suffering because, at the very least, they are predictable. But that is where the challenge lies, breaking free from what is known to open yourself to the unknown. It is a leap into the void, a void that does not mean absence but rather possibility. And this is where true transformation begins. Because when you release what does not value you, when you let go of what does not resonate with you, you begin to attract what does. Not because the universe magically rewards you for making the right decision, but because your energy shifts. The way you interact with the world changes. You no longer settle for scraps of love because you've discovered that within you lies an inexhaustible well of self-love. Jung said that projection is one of the most common ways the unconscious expresses itself. What we see in others, what hurts us, what obsesses us, is nothing more than a reflection of something we carry within ourselves. So when someone does not value us, instead of focusing on them, we should ask ourselves, in what way have I not valued myself? Where have I ignored my own needs? In what aspects of my life have I settled for less than I deserve? These questions may be uncomfortable, but they are necessary. Because real change does not happen when someone else decides to treat us better. It happens when we decide to raise our standards. And when that happens, when we truly integrate that lesson, we stop attracting relationships that diminish us. Because the external world is always a reflection of the internal world. Life is not about convincing someone to value you. It is about surrounding yourself with people who already do. But for that to happen, you must first be the one who values yourself. Not from ego, not from arrogance, but from a deep connection with who you truly are. When you see yourself with love and respect, others notice, and those who don't, they simply lose their place in your life. The act of letting go is not a punishment or a defeat. It is an act of self-love. It is telling yourself, I deserve more. And when you truly believe that, when you feel it in every fiber of your being, the entire universe aligns to show it to you. When you decide to let go of someone who does not value you, a part of you may resist, not because you truly want to keep suffering, but because your mind is conditioned to fear change. The human psyche, as Jung explained, seeks familiarity. Even when that familiarity involves pain, it feels safer than the unknown. But the greatest growth comes when you stop clinging to what feels safe and start moving toward what feels true. So ask yourself, are you ready to reclaim your worth? Are you ready to break free from cycles that no longer serve you? Because the moment you do, you step into the life you were always meant to live. Letting go is not the end. It is the beginning of everything. Carl Jung once said that the human psyche seeks balance and stability, even when that stability involves suffering. This is why so many people stay trapped in relationships that devalue them, because the thought of being alone feels more terrifying than the pain of staying where they're not loved. But here lies the paradox. What you fear losing the most is often exactly what you need to let go of. The fear doesn't stem from the loss itself. It comes from the belief that without that person, without that attachment, you'll be incomplete. But that belief is a lie. You are not half of a whole. You are already whole. You don't need someone to complete you. You need to remember who you were before you believed you had to become someone else to be loved. The moment you let go of what doesn't value you, you don't just make space for something new. You send a powerful signal to your subconscious. You are ready to evolve. Jung believed that the unconscious mind is always trying to communicate with us, but we rarely listen. It sends us signals through dreams, emotions, intuition, showing us which relationships are draining us, which paths no longer resonate, and which patterns keep repeating because they remain unresolved. So often we ignore these signs, not because we're blind, but because the truth is uncomfortable. We fear what we might discover. We fear what we might have to walk away from. But the truth is always there, waiting patiently, whispering beneath the noise, this is not where you belong. And if you listen, if you truly listen, you'll hear it, you'll feel it, and you'll finally understand that letting go isn't the loss you feared. It's the liberation your soul has been craving. And once you let go, truly let go, not just in words, but in energy, in presence, in embodiment, you will begin to experience something extraordinary. The weight will lift. Your body will feel lighter. Your breath will deepen. Your heart will beat with rhythm instead of resistance. And for the first time in a long time, you will feel peace. Not because something outside you changed, but because something within you shifted. This is what healing looks like. It is quiet, it is powerful, and it is deeply, unapologetically yours. Letting go is the ultimate act of trust, not in another person, but in yourself, in life, in the wisdom of your soul, in the unfolding of something greater than anything you could have forced. So let go with grace. Let go with love. Let go because you are finally ready to remember who you are without the burden of being who you had to be for someone else. And in that space, in that sacred emptiness, you will meet the most important person you've ever known. Your true self. The one who was always waiting for you. The one who never stopped believing. The one who is finally free.